Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to solve Codeforces problem, pearls in a row. Before we start looking into the problem, I want to mention that my channel is dedicated to help people who are preparing for Java J2 interviews and coding interviews. On my channel, there are over 200 solved different varieties of coding questions, which are the coding questions asked by Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, and many other big tech companies in their past interviews. Also, there are other playlists like Java interviews if you are preparing for telephonic Java interview rounds. So if you are preparing for any Java interviews or coding interviews, this channel can definitely be helpful for you in your job interview preparation. So please subscribe to the channel. So let's go over the problem statement. There are n pearls in a row. Let's enumerate them with integers from 1 to n, from left to right. The pearl number I has the type AI. So the pearls are in a row and they are denoted by their types, right? So let's call a sequence of consecutive pearls a segment. Let's call a segment good if it contains two pearls of same type. So there will be segments of pearls, but it is good if it contains two pearls of same type. Split the row of pearls to the maximal number of good segments. Note that each pearl should appear in exactly one segment of partition. Uh, so let's look at the examples here. So input is first line contains n, which is number of pearls in a row. So for example, here number of pearls in a row is 5, and the second line contains type of the pearl. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So these are the types of the pearl, right? So if you look at this first example, then we have to print integer k, which is maximal number of segments in part, like in partition of the row, right? So we have to find out how many maximum segments can be there, right? So let's just look into this first example. So if we look at this example, then as you can see, there is only one segment, right? Because segment should contain two types in it, right? So this is one type, and this is also ending in the same type here, right? So one is at the starting and one is at the ending. So this is one segment basically, right? So we have to put one here because it's one segment, and then the starting point is 1 and ending point of the segment is 5. So that's what we have to output here, right? uh, they are saying that if there are no correct partitions, then we have to print -1. So for example, this is second example. If you can take a look here, then there are no pearl types which are occurring two times here, right? So every pearl type is occurring only one type. So there we cannot make a segment from these pearls, right? So we have to output -1 here. So there is another example here where there are multiple segments here, right? So let's take this example over here and we will see how the multiple segments are there in this example, right? So the segment is basically when the poll type is occurring two times, right? So for example, this one we can say this is one segment, right? Because one is occurring here and one is occurring here basically, right? So because that's what they are saying, that the segment definition, right? Let's just take a look. So let's call a sequence of consecutive pulse a segment, and a segment is good if it contains two pulse of same type, right? So now here there are two pulse, 1 and 1, they are of same type. So this is one segment and the other segment can be this one, right? So this is the remaining segment is the other segment, right? Because it also has one here and one here, right? So the one that same type can occur it at any position. It's not necessary that they will be at the beginning and end, right? So here one is occurring here and here, right? So it's not in the beginning, but it is still a valid segment, right? So there are two segments we have to output. So we output 2 here because there are two segments, and we have to output the index of start and end, right? So starting is 1, ending is 3, right? Here, and here starting is 4 and ending is 7. So as you can see, 4 and 7, right, for this segment. So this is what the problem is. So now let's look at how we are going to solve this problem, right? So let me just remove this coloring so we can reuse this space again. So now what we will do is we will loop through uh, all these poles, right? Means all these types of pole, and we will put that in a map, right? So first we will also note that we will keep the previous let's say previous index, where we will just keep one variable called as previous, and it is used as -1, right? It will be assigned as -1. And what we will do is we will keep track of each type in a map. So first let's just create one map here so we can go through this example. So now this is a map, let's say, right? So we are here, so we will just put a map. We will say 1 is occurring one time, right? 1 is occurring one time. So now we are at 2. We already have noted, the indexes, right? Like the starting index is 0. So because we will keep one array list where we will use a list. We will to capture the starting and ending index of each partition, correct? So let's say this is the index, this is the list. In the beginning it's empty, so now we are here, right? So 2, so 2 again we will put it in a map. So 2 is again has one occurrence, right? Now we are at this point 1, right? So now 1 already has one entry in the map. So as soon as we find already existing entry in the map, then it means that we have found a segment, right? Because the segment has two types, right? Two same types basically will make a segment. So in this case we will just we will capture the first starting point as 0, right? Here 0 is the starting point, and where we are finding a existing pole type entry in the map, right? Then that is the position where the partition is ending, right? So this is the position. So this is not 0, sorry, this is 1. So so list will have 1 and then comma 3, right? So 1 comma 3, because 1 is starting point and 3 is ending point of the partition, correct? So we will do that, and we will capture the ending point into our list as the ending point of the partition. So what we are trying to say is that we have found this one partition already now, correct? So once we find this partition, we will again clear our map. So now our map, we will just create a brand new map now. So I will just erase these entries from a map, just to mimic that we are kind of a, so we already found one partition, right? So we will just remove, like create a new map now. So we'll just remove all these entries from the map. So again we will now start traversing the map. So we are at this position, so we will keep a note of this position in our list, right? So 4 is the position which is starting position, right? And we will capture that into this previous variable, right? This previous variable we will capture where the partition is ending previously, right? So previous partitioning ending is 3 basically, right? So why we are using this previous? Because next time when we find a partition, we can just put 3 plus 1 to get the starting point 4, right, for the partition. So that's why we use this pre variable. So now we are going again through the remaining pole types, right? So we are at here 3, so we will make an entry into our map like 3 comma 1. We are at 1, so we will make an entry into our map 1 comma 1, right? We are at 2, we will make an entry into our map 2 comma 1, and we are at this one. So we already found one entry here which is existing entry, right? Which means that we have found another partition. So at that time we will take this previous and add 1 to it. So 3 plus 1, which is equal to 4. So we will add it into our list as 4, and this is the ending point, right? This is where our partition is ending, so it will be 7. So we will add it into our list, right? 4 comma 7. So after that we will just take a like loop through this list, and we will take these pairs, right? So first we will take the size like 2, means total size divided by 2, right, is the number of partitions, and then we will go through this pair 1 comma 3, we will put it 1 comma 3 here, and then 4 comma 7 we will put 4 comma 7 here, right? So this is the approach to solve the Codeforces problem. pulse in a row. So let's take a look at the Java code. So Java code is not that difficult. So first n is equal to 7. So these are the 7 poll types that is given to us. So this is the input that is given to us, right? So we first created a hash map here of integer comma integer, and we are using this hash map, right, to keep track of the entries that we are making, right? We are looking through basically. So this prev is the prev variable that I explained you here. This prev variable that we will use to keep track of the last found partition, right? The last ending index of the partition basically. So in the beginning, this prev partition ending index is -1. We initialize it as -1 because we add 1 to it, right? When we find a partition. So -1 plus 1 becomes 0, correct? So that's why we added -1 here. And then total partitions, we wanted to keep track of how many partitions we find, right? So for example, in this case, we find 2 partitions, right? So we just used a variable called as total partitions here. Then we just use index in answer array here, and then we just created one count variable which is 0, right? So we are looping through the pulse in a row, right? So these are the all the in array basically. This array we are looping through, and we are checking. First thing we will check if our map contains that type, right? If the map doesn't contain the type, we will just simply add it into the map, right? The type and the one, right? As I showed you here. So type and one, we add it into map. When we find existing entry into the map, then we will just increment our total partitions, right, by 1, because we find one more partition. After that, we will just use this. Now we have to capture the indexes, right, where we found the partitions. So starting index and ending index we have to capture. So for that purpose, we use the answer array. So we will just use this count plus plus, right? So count variable we will keep, and we will just use this prev partition ending index plus 2 basically, right? So that is what we wanted to output, right? So if it is -1, then we will add 2 into it, right? So -1 plus 2 is equal to 1, right? So that's what how we are doing, right? So this is in the beginning it is -1, right? So -1 plus 2 we will do, so we will get 1 here. And then after that we will use I plus 1 as the ending index. So this is starting index that we are capturing here, and this is the ending index of the partition we are capturing here. After that, we are just updating our prev partition ending index variable to the I, right? So because I is the place where the partition is ending, and then we are reinitializing the hash map by a new hash map, right? Because we just want to wipe it off, right? So we can make another run for the remaining array, right? So we are just using new hash map here. So this we will loop through all the elements and capture all the partition indexes. And here if we find the count is equal to 0, right, then in that case we will just output as -1. Otherwise we will just use our answer array to output, this is the total partitions we will output, and after that we will just printing the partitions, right, from the answer array, because answer array we have captured the partitions. So every two entries has one partition, right, starting and ending. So we are just printing it there. So let's just go ahead and execute this example. So now we are getting 21347. So as you can see, this is the correct answer for the this one, right? So this is the example that you can see here. So 21347, right? So we got correct answer 21347. So we can also try one other example which is negative, right? So let's take this example. So 5 and 1 2 3 4 5. So I'll just update our input here. So it is 1 2 3 4 5 now. So now we should get -1. So we are getting -1, right? Because there is no partition here, because there is no uh, type which is occurring two types, right? Two times basically. Now if we modify this 5 to 1, then we can combine this all this as a one segment, right? Because it is starting with 1 and ending with 1, means same type basically, right? So we should find one partition now in this case. So as we are saying, one partition which starts at 1 and ends at 5, so which is correct. So this is the way we can solve pulse in a row problem on Codeforces. If you are new to my channel, on my channel there is a playlist dedicated to Codeforces solved problems and examples with Java code. You can take a look there. Also, there is a big playlist called as LeetCode and LeanCode solutions. It has captured a lot of problems from LeetCode and LeanCode, and those problems are taken from previously asked coding interview questions by Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, and many other big tech companies. So if you are planning for any coding interviews, you can go through that playlist. It has lots of different varieties of solved coding problems, so will be definitely helpful in your coding interview preparation. There is another playlist called as Java Interview that discusses frequently asked telephonic Java interview questions, and how to answer those questions is also explained there. If you find this video helpful, if you like the way it's explained with examples and Java code, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Your subscription to the channel is really important to us, because that is the way the videos can reach to more people who need help in solving coding problems. They can also go through these videos and learn how to approach and solve different coding problems using Java, and what data structures of Java are useful to solve those coding problems. If you like this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks for watching this video.